Hey, good morning, everybody. I appreciate everybody coming out. First, I'd like to introduce who's up here with me. I'm Ray Gibson, Chief of Police here in Reidsville. I have behind me ASAC Kevin Jones with the State Bureau of Investigation. To my right is Amanda Thompson, Assistant Director of State Crime Lab, and to my left is Investigator Joey Collins with the Reidsville Police Department. Again, thank everybody for coming. We're here today because we've had a breakthrough in a 1994 cold case homicide. On May the 7th, 1994, the Reidsville Police Department responded to 2005 South Harris Street in reference to a homicide. When the patrol arrived on scene, they located the deceased male who was later identified as Edward Ware. You'll see Mr. Ware's picture here and to my left. The Reidsville Police Department is always continually working our cold cases, but recently we've got a major break in this case, and at this time I'm going to turn it over to Investigator Collins to give more details.
Good morning. On the 9th of February 2023, I was assigned to this case. I made contact with our local SBI agent, Special Agent Denny, and we began to review this case. On the 23rd of February of 2023, myself and Special Agent Denny sat down and kind of went over some of the evidence. I made two requests. One was, of course, what all has been sent off, try to get me a little updated. And number two, is there anything that we can do with the evidence today that we wasn't able to do in the past? After that meeting, Special Agent Denny went and spoke with our lab, where they have a new technology called StarMix. Because of this new technology, we was able to obtain warrants and DNA evidence on a Johnny Ware who was charged with first-degree murder and is recently in a state prison in Georgia. I'm going to give some of these people time to speak. After they're done talking, if there's any questions that y'all have, I'll be more than happy to answer them. Just keep in mind that even though the investigation isn't pending anymore, the case still is due to court proceedings. So to maintain the integrity of the case, there's going to be some questions I'm not going to be able to answer. So.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Jones. I'm with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation. I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the Northern Piedmont District in Greensboro. I'd like to thank Chief Gibson with the Reidsville Police Department for allowing us to be a part of this news conference. As Detective Collins said, we're not going to be discussing the case on our side just because it's pending court. But I do want to say that SBI and our agents are honored to be a part of hopefully bringing some closure to the family of Mr. Ware. These investigations take time and teamwork. We are proud of our local partnerships throughout the state. That includes Reidsville Police Department and all the other agencies in Rockingham County. And most of this work of the dedicated men and women go unnoticed. However, I'd like to recognize a few investigators who have been involved in this case over the last 23 years. The late retired Captain Ken Hanks, retired Lieutenant Shannon Coates, current Detective Joey Collins, retired Special Agent Mike Wilson, and current Special Agent Destiny Denny for their work in this case and hopefully bringing some closure. My goal today is to bring awareness to unsolved or cold case homicides and let the public know that SBI and our partners are continuing to follow any available leads we may have. I want to give families out there looking for hope and seeking justice for their loved ones to know that the victims are not forgotten. We will use all our resources and our new technologies to find and follow the evidence wherever it leads. And our objective is to find the truth. So I encourage citizens to come forward and provide law enforcement with any available information, as sometimes those little details prove vital in identifying those responsible for these type of crimes. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Amanda Thompson. I'm the Assistant Director for the State Crime Laboratory. I'm here today on behalf of Attorney General Josh Stein and the North Carolina Department of Justice. I want to offer my congratulations to the Reidsville Police Department for the arrest made this week. And while Attorney General Stein could not be here today, I would like to read a statement on his behalf. This arrest, nearly 30 years in the making, is a reminder that sometimes justice isn't swift, sometimes it takes longer, and relies on the advancement of science and technology. It's because of the dedication and commitment of law enforcement officers and scientists who have worked this case over the years that we're finally about to move this cold case forward. With partnership, persistence, and the power of DNA, we can send powerful messages. To the victims of these crimes and their families, we say that we take these crimes seriously and we will not stop seeking justice for you. To the public, we say that we will do whatever we can to keep you safe. And to the murderers and rapists, we say very clearly that no matter how long ago you committed your crime, we will never stop coming for you. At the State Crime Laboratory, which is a division within the Department of Justice, we use science to assist law enforcement agencies in criminal investigations to help further their investigation. This case was originally worked by forensic scientist and forensic biologist Melinda Wilson in 2018. In 2023, at the request of the SBI's Cold Case Investigation Team in conjunction with Reidsville Police Department, additional analysis was requested. A DNA profile obtained from an item of evidence previously analyzed in this case was reevaluated using a newer, more sensitive technology called StarMix, S-T-R-M-I-X. StarMix is simply a software program used to assist in the evaluation of DNA profiles. In this instance, the analyst was able to enter the DNA profile obtained, and she was able to, using the software, discern the contributors to the mixture. I want to recognize each of the scientists at the State Crime Laboratory for their excellence and their expertise, and I want to specifically thank Melinda Wilson for her work in this case. I hope that this important announcement reminds law enforcement agencies that we are here to serve as partners for new and old cases as we seek to deliver justice and create a safer North Carolina.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we would entertain any questions. Yes, ma'am.
Can you say and spell the name of the person that was arrested and if there's any relation to the victim?
Yes, the individual arrested was Mr. Johnny Ware, Johnnny Ware, W-A-R-E, and he is the nephew of the deceased. Yes, ma'am.
He's arrested right now in Georgia. When is he coming here to face trial?
That's a continuing process. The district attorney's office is now currently working with the Department of Corrections to facilitate that move back to North Carolina. But that could take, a couple of months or more. We're not 100% sure. Yes, sir.
With this new technology, it's a software. Could you go a little bit more into it if you could?
DNA is a science that is constantly evolving, and as years pass, technology increases in its ability, especially in sensitivity. This software allows us to go back and look at profiles that may previously have been developed that were not able to be interpreted at the time due to limitations on the science or the software available at the time. This allows us to go back and look at it again through a new lens, and in some cases will allow us to be able to call and discern contributors that we were not previously able to do that for.
How old was Johnny at the time of the murder? Or how old is he now?
I'm wanting to, that I don't know. That's good.
So Johnny's date of birth is 1968, so would make him,
55 now.
yeah.
So that would put him roughly 25.
Okay. And do we know?
I don't know the exact age. I just know he was in his early 20s.
Sure. Do you know the situation surrounding it, like why this transpired, what the issue was, if there was one?
As far as the crime itself, or
Yeah.
I can't disclose that right now.
Did he live in the area,
He did at the time.
like close to Mr. Ware, or?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Has other family been notified with the developments?
They have. They were actually notified prior to this press conference a few days ago. So.
And what was their response? I mean, been, like you said, it's been nearly 30 years that we've been trying to get answers into this case. I can only imagine the type of relief that they expressed to you.
Yeah, it was nothing but smiles.
You said that you made an arrest this week. Do we know exactly the day when he was arrested?
I can't disclose that. I just know that I was contacted by the agencies there, advising me that the charges have been served.
And what's the name of the prison here in Georgia?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
What's the name of the prison in Georgia where he's being held?
I can't disclose that. Sorry.
Do you know where he was apprehended, suspect?
Yeah, in prison.
Or no, where he was arrested once you...
He was arrested, he was served a warrant in prison. He's currently in
Oh, he
prison.
was, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
he's
is he in
currently
prison
custody.
for?
Another unrelated homicide.
Detective, can you just talk about the importance of evidence being taken from back then, realizing how important it could be to this case later on, and the storage of it, kind of keeping it, maintaining it, and knowing that someday that this could be a possibility of a cold case being solved because of evidence being stored properly and collected at the scene at that time?
Feel like that's
I think that's the case in every single criminal investigation. If you have forensic evidence that is analyzed and the case remains open for any period of time, it's very important that the integrity of the evidence is maintained, that it's stored in an appropriate environment, and for different types of evidence, that's different environments. For DNA evidence in particular, it's important that it's not exposed to heat and that it's maintained at room temperature and packaged in a certain way. So that would be the case for any type of evidence in any case. We want to ensure that the integrity of the evidence is in place and that the environmental conditions are appropriate for potential retesting at a later time or delving back in to see if there's anything additional that wasn't tested initially.
And Chief, for your department, several different detectives have, looked at this case, studied it over the years. For your department to finally, have a breakthrough and arrest someone, how does that feel?
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And we'll at the Reidsville PD and all surrounding agencies, all law enforcement agencies, we'll never give up on cases. This is, like I say, 1994, so we're hitting almost 30 years, and we continue to look at them, and thank the Lord we have breakthroughs in technologies that can assist with that because the families owe justice, and unfortunately, a lot of Mr. Ware's family has passed on, but his close family here now, they were extremely appreciative and glad that they could have some closure, and they actually stated they wish that the mother could have been here, the aunts and uncles, people that have passed on, to know that justice is going to be served. So it's a good feeling, very good.
And I don't know if you or anyone else can give more details about that day back in 1994 and any details about the murder.
I'll turn that over to Deputy Investigator Collins, but at this time we probably can't give a lot out.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't disclose that.
Is there a specific murder weapon or that we can disclose?
Again, I can't disclose that. I'm sorry.
Do you know when the police department or whatever agency uses software started using that new software?
The State Crime Laboratory began using StarMix in 2020.
I have a question. So we've read in there aren't many articles about this, obviously, because this happened nearly 30 years ago. So we're trying to make our viewers aware of the situation that happened back in 1994. We read in one article that an axe was used. Are you able to confirm that?
Again, I can't disclose that information. So.
I have a question. Can you tell us a little bit about the victim? I mean, how long have you lived in Reidsville? Long-time resident of the area? Maybe a little bit about his history?
Yeah, from what I, gathered from other statements and from other interviews, he was well known. There's actually a few past employees I've spoken to that knew him. He was well known throughout the community.
You said that Johnny Weir was arrested for a different homicide. Was it here in North Carolina or was it in Georgia?
No, it wasn't here. It was in Georgia.
Will you guys be going down to try to talk to him while he's in prison down in Georgia right now, to see if he'll talk to you guys about this incident?
Yeah, so I made a trip down there to speak with him. So, yeah.
I know that there's a backlog in the state crime lab testing. Did that play a role in this case at all? I know there's a backlog when it comes to rape cases, so I didn't know if it was like similar or.
The State Crime Laboratory will reevaluate any cold case at the agency's request to do so, and between the SBI's cold case investigation team and Reidsville Police Department, that was the request that was made, and at the time the request was made, we reevaluated and moved forward with this interpretation.
Anything else? Well, again, thank you all for coming out, and I just want to reiterate my personal thanks to the citizens of Reidsville who's provided information for this case over the years, as well as the late retired Captain Hanks, retired SBI agent Mike Wilson, who's with us today, retired Reidsville Police Department Investigative Lieutenant Shannon Coates, who's with us as well, forensic scientist specialist Ms. Wilson, thank you. All members of the Reidsville Police Department, because like I say, we will not give up on any cold case that we have. Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
I actually just have one last question. It's a little bit of a hassle. Could you spell your first and your last name, all of you, for us real quick?
Ray Gibson, RayGibson. And then let me finish my thanks, and then we'll let them hop up here. SBI agent Destiny Denny, who's back here with us, thank you for your help. The entire State Bureau of Investigation cold case unit, we appreciate the partnerships, and without partnerships with SBI, other agencies, State Crime Lab, we couldn't solve these cases. So we're very appreciative of every assistance that we get. We'd like to thank the Georgia Bureau of Investigation for helping us with getting to speak to Mr. Ware and their assistance with serving the warrant, and then again, of course, North Carolina State Crime Lab. Thank y'all.
So, I'm Joseph Collins, JOSEPHCOLLINS.
Kevin Jones, KEVINJONES.
Amanda Thompson, AMANDATHOMPSON.
Thank y'all. Apologize for being a little warm, but them big windows heats it up pretty quick. Yeah. Well, it just depends if it's available.
That's what y'all.
We're still working all through it.
Help you with that.
Oh, you're good, good. I'm right here.
Make this less of a tangle.
There we are. That's our good. It's all right, right there. What do you think? Go get you a couple of them. Listen to me.